And by having everybody bow to Showman, to our teachers. Showman, great. And bow to each other. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. Thank you, everybody out there. Okay, we are starting the Q exam for Sid and Doug. And we will start with kata. And I will be running around the room a little bit, coordinating a few things, but definitely want our judges to engage as much and as often as possible. So Bob, to that effect, why don't you have them perform a kata of your choice, please.
Okay. Sid, why don't we start with Fukugata Ichi, please?
Is that all right? Facing Bob? Yes. Fukugata Ichi.
Hey! And then comments, questions, requests from the judges on that?
You know the choreography, without doubt. What I'd like to see if you could do if you would do it again and sort of like more flowing, and not as choppy from one transition from one position to the other. But the choreography, but it's best if you could make it.
Fukugata Ichi.
Nice.
I think it was really good. Good flow to me. I liked the first one too. I didn't see, I didn't see what Arlette was seeing. Great ki. For the first ki effort, I think it's wonderful. The kata. Just keep working through it, and I don't see any problems with what you did. Good job.
Bob?
Yeah. Sid, I think I've seen a lot of progression since you started just a couple months ago. That was really well done. I noticed that your eyes were going in the right direction. Your eyes were leading your body, so that was wonderful. Your embison looked good. You're returning back to where you started. Well done. That's a great start to your rank advancement.
And also, it wasn't rushed. It was well executed for your rank, for what you're testing for. It's great. Good job.
Okay. So why don't you have a moment, sit for a moment, and for Doug, Arlette, please take the kata confidence list and have you direct to that, please.
I would like to see. Can you hear me, Doug?
Yes, I can. Hi, Arlette.
Hi. Like to see you do the Nahanchi Nidan.
Hachi Nidan, yes. I'm saying take an extra step over this way because that fireplace is a little close from the beginning. Can you two see me? Do you have a laptop?
We have a thing here. Yeah, we can see.
Perfect. I just wanted to make sure you see me. Nahachi Nidan. Right? Hey! Hey! I felt a little bit of Nahachi normal in there when I ki-eyed. I don't normally ki-eye, so I threw them in. I don't know if they're in the right spot.
I think wherever it feels good for you to ki-eye, it's there's not particularly one right spot or wrong spot. So if it felt good for you, that's good. I thought that was nice. I thought that was nice the way it flowed, and that was nice, Doug.
Thank you, Arlette.
Doug, question for you.
Yes, sir.
Can you do that again with a more stated emphasis on showing your footwork.
Yes. Hachi Nidan. Right? So for that one, I tried to stay at the same height the whole time. I wasn't watching myself, so I don't know if I was able to achieve that. And I do know that sometimes I rush through my stances, so I tried to put my focus in my stance.
Good, and that's what I wanted you to do. Don't let up on your intensity when you perform these. Perform them at your most intense level with
yes, sir.
maintaining good form. Okay?
Yes, sir.
And that's the advice for both of you during your test. Okay. Anything else on this, Kata, before we move on?
Yeah, Doug, hi.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to see that again,
Yes.
but I'd like this at half speed, and I'd like
Half
you to vary your count to be asynchronous. Feel free to stop and take an extra pause wherever you feel like it. I want to see it somewhat disjointed. I want it at half speed, please.
Yes, sir. Hachi Nidan. Right?
Okay, thank you. We had to watch on the big TV for a fraction of a second because the sound changed, but that's what I wanted to see. That to me was the best of three.
Thank you. One thing that I feel I need to work on, and maybe this is from being separated from you guys, but timing. I do tend to just flow through everything. I don't get the same, because nobody's practicing with me, I don't get the same flow or feeling. I don't get the same pauses. And so adding in those breaks is something I need to work on.
And what you're doing remotely, studying remotely, learning kata remotely, working with us remotely is extremely difficult. So I totally understand, and I factor this into everything you're doing. So
No, but that's something I'd like to focus on. It is my point.
yeah, but to me, this third performance was more indicative of what you can deliver, you know, what your skill set is. Because when slowing down, you could really, you know, you can showcase the lower body, you know, all the moves, and that was the function I wanted to see. So very nice.
Thank you.
Is this helpful?
Hmm?
Is this helpful?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Igor, pick a person and a kata for them to do, please.
All right, well, I'll be nice. Doug just finished, so the person I'll pick would be Sid. All right, Sid, let's do Naihanchi. So, what do you know about Naihanchi kata? Anything? Tell us anything you know, any factoid or anything that you find interesting or fascinating or you hate about it, just anything about this kata.
I just recently learned from you, in fact, that all our katas or all our teachings for our Rubicon are based around the kanji.
Okay.
That's all I know.
Keep talking.
That's basically it. And
I know you're very early in your kind of learning process and everything else. Have you picked up anything specific about the kata, why this kata may be, you know, more important, let's say, okay, this is a controversial statement, more important than other katas? Like, why is it that kata that we always refer to and we always fall back on?
I'll give you my perspective, just
You
mine.
can always speak, yeah.
The whole way I have to maintain my posture throughout
Mm-hmm.
is completely different than everything else I have to deal with. Most of the other ones flow, versus here I have a very, I have to be very conscious about not jumping up and down. So there, I do have to fight some instincts that I don't have to when I'm doing most others where I'm standing up. Versus this one, I do have a little struggle where
Yeah.
you know, I have to remind myself of the crab walk. I think someone had mentioned that word, and I actually mentally remind myself of it all the time.
Yeah.
So that's what I find interesting or challenging about it.
And you know, over the course of your training, you'll find different things. More things will open up to you. And this is not coming from the books, just from your experience. You know, you'll have some aha moments. Like for me, without going into books and what other people say, I think that I see elements of Naifanchi in every other kata. And the fact that we're developing this lower body strength and foundational understanding of how to move without bobbing up and down, how to maintain stuff. That just transforms all your other cut, so it's not, this cut is not all by itself, it touches everything else that we do. And it just happens to be the kata that helps us with everything else that we do.
And I was simply going to say something as simple as the first one, so I still haven't mastered it because my instinct is to always just go sideways.
Right,
So it's always a fight against what the body just casually wants to do versus having
Sure.
to do stuff.
sure. And we do have our natural limitations, and sometimes you can't just have the parallel stuff. So, but there's always this kind of. But as you progress and as your legs get stronger in that position, you'll be able to control it more.
I always find this is the one I have to learn, to be honest.
Yeah.
The others feel natural versus this has to be learned to, okay, don't bounce up and
Yeah.
down.
All right, let's do it.
Pancheshwaran. Hey! Hey!
Never get Bob.
Oh. So, one more time?
Bob, you have anything to say? Please, don't hesitate.
No, I thought that was well. It's difficult to continue on that track and not move forward up, especially as you're doing that crossover step. I thought that was really good. I have one question for you. It looked like you were looking in the mirror while you were doing that. Is that by design, or was it just because you happen to be facing the mirror?
No, just it was there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I wasn't. If anything, it made me a little conscious, but yeah, there was nothing specific actually. Yeah.
Okay, so perhaps because we do have a little bit of time, you may want to do it either facing the showman or facing me away from the mirror, and then as you move, perhaps look so that your intention is in the direction that you're moving. Just because you did that so well with Fukigata Ichi, and this one again, it's hard because we practice looking in the mirror to watch what we're doing. Maybe you want to consider doing it that way, where your focus is on the movement, the intention of the
So on
movement.
the actual movements.
So I think what Bob is referring to, just to be specific, so you're not confused, is that some movements in kata call for your head to actually look to where you're doing. So these reinforced things that we're doing, right? You normally don't look forward when you do this because you're just extending, you're not seeing where you're extending. So be aware of where the kata goes and then look in that direction so you can connect what you're doing with where you're looking. Is that what you're saying, Bob?
Yeah, pretty much. Thank you.
Alright. So facing Bob.
Facing you and with my count. Okay,
Alright.
I'm gonna be touching your body at certain points during your form. I just want you to maintain that same understanding, that very well expressed understanding of what this kata is teaching us. Okay?
Alright.
Here we go. Next stance. Get scared. Right. More a little bit to your right. Point your shot on your. Wait for the count.
Oh.
It's okay. Okay. Start again. Try not to drop your body by bending your knees so much. Much better. Now keep that feeling of connection. Each knee. Sun. Shi. Go. Go. Good. Just go to where you feel comfortable. Sich. Hach. Good. Ju. Ich. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Ro. Continue on your own, please. Hey!
Nice.
All right.
I just have a couple of questions. Have you, given any thought in this contrast to, what it is teaching, like in terms of your stance, why the horse stance, and then why the vertical sideways, which is different than, the other concepts that we do.
So the stability aspect of it is what I always thought it was. I'm trying to emphasize, trying to maintain your structure while being in that position. And the sideways, to me, it always seemed more like not every attack is going to be where I'm going to be moving front and back. There will be stuff where I'll be moving out, and in my head, this is how it kind of helped me, even in classes where I don't tend to move my feet. This kind of helps me a bit. So I always look at it as a way of either evading or trying to get different angles as opposed to the typical going front and back. That's how I always approached it. That was my
The
interpretation.
angle, because, for myself in learning it, that also was what I kept in mind was, first the stability of the stance and the staying low and the stability, and that it's a kata that emphasizes, in teaching us how to angle off. Because it's not always going to be coming from here, and so that is a real strong principle in that kata.
All right, so we're gonna go on to fundamentals. Okay, so I'd like you both with Igor's count to start with, the basic 6 drill. Igor,
Sure.
whatever you're-
Okay, so basic 6, starting with the first hand that goes up is left, so we'll be doing right
Right
arm
arm moves.
start, okay?
Yes, sir.
Is that clear? Yeah? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Ich,
Ich.
ni, san, shi, go, ruk, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk. Yummy. All right, I'm counting slower so I can see what Doc is doing because of the delay.
Oh,
But Sensei, is that an acceptable count?
Absolutely, whatever you think is.
All right, Sid, question to you right away. So the first shuto of the sequence, which is move number 5, it's a left shuto. Okay, let's run through this again just for you. So again, face that direction, and let's go each. Not the shuto, start from the beginning, so we will get to it.
Okay. So just normal?
Just normal starting, left, so right agyuki. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Okay, so you see, like from this position, you just kind of do this, which is fine if that's your intent, right? But shuta is more of this extension, right? So I'd like to see more of a shoulder body engagement in the shuta, and less of just turning wrist and placing this, unless somebody's right in front of you and you're doing an exercise and that's what you need to do, okay? Which would work, right? And then the second shuta that you do is a better shuta. So go to there you change. So when you do this exercise, keep in mind that shuta number 6 looks more like a shuta than shuta number 5, or the movement number 5. Okay. That's what I saw with Sid. Everything else looks pretty good. Doc, you're looking good too, man.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so stay on the same subjects of fundamentals. Anything
Yes.
on the list that they have judges for the judges? Anything that you see on their respective list, or anything that you want to see in terms of fundamental movement? Please voice it.
I had a comment for Sid on the basic 6. One thing to remember, and I know because this is kind of like a sticky point for me, is when you're doing the moves, remember to move the body and not stay square, because it then becomes all arms, and your body, it's your body that's moving your arm into position. Because you're protecting yourself, and that the power is coming from your body moving your arm into position than to staying square. And it's easy when you're learning it because you're so fixated on getting the positions that you forget to move the body, but just that part, that's really important.
Okay. So, Bob, who are you, or Arlette?
Well, unless Bob has something to add.
I'd like to watch Doug do it again. I could see it, but because the noise was coming from the dojo, he's got a very small square on this little laptop I'm using. So, Doug, I don't know if maybe
Yeah,
you
if you
want
want to
if
pin
you want
me,
to count it off, if you do the basic 6, but you sort of count, or just something
Or-
to make sure that the screen doesn't change.
sure. Or I don't know if you can pin me. If that you click that little blue box in the
Yeah,
top
yeah,
right
yeah.
of my square, and
No,
then
I'm happy to do that.
Doug, can I also ask you to turn 45 degrees to either direction when you do this?
sure.
Perfect.
Okay, basic 6. Ich, ni, son, she, go, roko. Ich, ni, son, she, go, roko. Ich, ni, son, she, go, roko. Ich, ni, son, she, go, roko.
Double
Ich,
speed now, Doug, please.
ni, son, she, go, roko. Do you still want me to count?
Oh, we're good.
Okay.
Thank you. That's the flow that I thought I saw. Well done.
And continue, or
I've seen
Great. Just for our enjoyment, do the same thing. You can go slow in reverse order now.
yes, sir.
Count if it helps.
Okay, I'm counting in my head. So, Roko, go. It's harder when I do it in Japanese. Can I do? I'll keep it in my head.
And one more time. Very nice, thank you.
nice.
Thank you.
So do the basic 4 in reverse, please.
Reverse.
Yes. Very nice, thank you.
I saw more of the body movement too.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Any other fundamentals? Any judge, please?
Stance patterns. How about we do basic stance patterns?
Okay, I'll call it out. Okay, Doug, you ready? Basic stance pattern?
Basic stance pattern. Yes, sir.
Okay. and
Arlette,
say
do you want me
30
to? Do you guys want me to head towards the camera, or like Igor said before, would you prefer if I go to 45, sir?
Let's work on. I think towards the camera or maybe sideways.
Towards the camera would be easier for me, so.
Perfect. Yes,
No,
ma'am.
okay.
Should I go this way? This Bob House has a view. And
You could probably.
You can, since we can see it from the side, why don't you walk towards the TV, so go that way.
Good. All right, here we go. Ready stance. Right leg forward. Cat. Side. Back. Going back. Back. Side. Cat. Forward. And ready. You see, you probably want to center yourself so you don't get too off. So make yourself.
Face TV and
Face
then go
TV
straight.
Yeah, exactly. Good. Okay, get your alignment. Make sure you understand where you're at. And again, starting with your left leg. Ready stance.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. What I want to see is something that looks like you're more prepared than you were the moment before I said ready stance.
Yes.
So if that means shuffling your feet, then that's not what we're looking for. I'm looking for something that says connection. Or if you're really good, maybe you don't have to move anything. But it would be nice to see that you're going from I'm getting ready to ready stance. Okay, so relax for a
Yes.
moment and ready stance. Left leg forward. Cat. Side. Back stance. Now going back. Back. Side. Cat. Forward. Ready. Good. Stay in ready stance, please. Good. Relax more, Doug. You look like
Oh.
you look like Arnold Schwarzenegger for a second. Relax, relax.
Yes,
Not
all right.
Terminator. Different movie.
I'll be back.
Okay. I'm going to count again, but this time I'm going to add a switch to one or all of these stance patterns. So again, trying to get your body to move in an integrated fashion, connected to the ground, all the things we're talking about that you all know very well, but don't always demonstrate. Sometimes it looks like you're just floating on top of the water, you know? So ready stance.
It's
Right leg forward.
Oh, forward.
Switch. Cat. Side. Switch. Back stance. Now going back. Back. Side. Cat. Forward. Ready. All right. And relax. Okay, judges, please take what you can.
What would be helpful for me is if Sid, if you could, yeah, from that angle, I can better see you. And do it at a pace that's comfortable for you.
Just all 4 stances.
Yeah, I can call them out. Okay, so ready stance.
Right leg.
Okay, yeah, right legs. Forward, cat, side, back, ready. Now what I'd like to see you do is to come forward
Oh,
and not, do it in place of, like that. Okay, so we'll do it again, ready, stance, right leg forward, cat, side, back, ready. Left leg back, side, cat, forward, ready. Okay, yeah, I could see, when you did it at a more comfortable, pace, where you were using your body more to move your legs. Cause when you were doing it quickly, I think you were concentrating so much on your legs that it was mostly legs, but not really moving the body, but I could see then that you were using your body to move. As opposed to just making sure that the leg gets there. So, yeah, and that's what I wanted to see, and I understand better. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So I'm going to switch to Doug's view for a moment.
yes, sir.
And hopefully, if you keep breathing hard, we'll keep the view on you and not on me.
Okay.
See you scratching my head.
The
You had 3 complex patterns, sense patterns to demonstrate. Which are they?
Yes, sir. So I would like to demonstrate. Let's start off with back fist punch, upper block. I think we call this uppercut, inside block punch.
Okay. And with box count, perform that, please.
Right leg. Oh, excuse me. It's not right leg, is it? What is right leg forward? Cat. Side. Back. And ready. Left leg back. Side. Cat. And forward. Nice. Ready, please. Nice.
Thank you.
And Doug, I'm gonna have you do the next of those three before the judges intervene again and give you comments, questions. And you're gonna be calling them out so that we can see you on the screen a little bit more.
Yes, would you like me also to go in a different direction? And you want me to move on to my next complex dance pattern? Is that correct, Sensei?
Yeah, I want you to move to the next one, and I'll leave it up to the judges. They want to change your direction.
Okay, so my next one will be back fist, I'm sorry, back fist, kick, punch, the first one. And I'll call it out. Ready. Front stance. Cat stance. Song. She. Ready? Each. Knee. Song. She.
Okay, relax.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Judges.
That's good.
Okay. Got no other comments. So it looks like you're doing well so far. The
Thank you,
third
sir.
one, please.
The third one, I would like to do, let's see. Think of a complicated one. Is it back fist? Let's see. Back fist, punch, outside block, kick, punch. So 1, 2. And will I count through this one? Like I did last one?
We'll get right back to you. We've got our expert on stance patterns, aka Patricia, looking at the board right now. If she nods her head, then
Oh.
you're cool.
Can you repeat what you just said for that back knuckle punch?
So I believe it's back knuckle, punch, outside block, kick, punch.
You got
But
it.
if I'm wrong, I'll switch to a different one.
You got
Proceed.
I'm trying to
please.
pick hard ones.
it.
So Patricia, that qualifies?
Yes, sir. You're right on the
Okay.
money.
Starting off, each. Knee. Song. She. Moving back. Each. Knee. Song. She. Ready?
Doug,
Yes.
so I'm seeing a pattern. You clearly know the technique.
Yes.
But what I'm seeing the pattern is you seem to be a little tight with your movement. And I don't know if that's because that's how you practice it, or is that physical limitation? But what I'd like to see is more of a commitment to individual parts of these techniques, right?
Yes.
So if it's a back fist, you need to really emphasize this turn to have a reach, okay? Because that would require you to come back and do the other. So I'd like to see more of the dynamics of shoulder and everything else behind the punches. So it's less kind of fixed,
Yes.
more dynamic, and you can go as slow as you need to, you know?
Okay.
Just be aware that these are the things that we're looking for. So it's
Yes.
not so much what you do, but how you execute these things. So engage your core, engage your body more, and exaggerate if you need to.
Yes, sir.
So
Same.
pick any one of these techniques that you were doing, any of the patterns that you want to repeat, and just focusing on that suggestion. If you could repeat that, please.
Okay, I'd like to repeat the last one because I feel it gets a good back and forth. So again, that's back fist, back fist punch, outside block kick, punch, and I'll move that to the stances. Each. knee. Song. She. Each. Knee. Song. She. And I do feel tight in doing those, to be honest with you.
So this was,
Even
this was a
that
lot,
way.
this was a lot better for me, for my understanding of how the movements should be. This is what we're looking for.
Thank you.
And what's the tightness? Is that physical tightness? Is that just kind of, can you
So,
elaborate?
so my tightness, I like to punch and I like to block. And I've been working over the years to make contact, to grab. But when I do these techniques, to me, they're very much attack, 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 attack. I'm not thinking like when I'm in kata, I've grabbed, I'm pulling, I'm ripping. And so I think I go back to some of my Ishinryu and I'm very tight when I do that. We did our
Yeah.
katas very hard, you know, very, very strict, very boom, 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 snap, snap.
Yeah.
And so it reverts me to a pattern. And I haven't practiced these enough, to be honest, to lose that pattern.
But yet, with these slight modifications, again, to me, that looked like I would expect it to look a lot better, less, I hate to say wooden, it wasn't wooden, but like constricted. It's almost like you're not pulling your punches, but you're limiting yourself to the amount of range that you can deliver, right?
Yes.
And with range comes power, comes all the other
And
stuff that comes with range, right?
you have to be loose to extend. And sometimes you feel stronger when you're tight. And so it's a false sense of strength.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for going through this and humoring me. Thank you.
Thank you. No.
Hey, Doug, this is Bob. Would you mind taking any one of those you want and either go towards the fireplace or away from the fireplace so we can see it from the side?
Okay. I'll do the, I'm sorry, doesn't start with opera block. It's going to be.
Let's go away from the fireplace for safety reasons. I don't know if that's
Oh, yeah. I was going to move away from the fireplace. There's no fire in there. It's 95 today. It's Texas. I'm going to do, I need to repeat the first one. Hammer fist, punch, upper block, closed block, inside block, punch. If that's okay, Bob.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Obviously, I was trying to look at your stances to see if you were able to maintain them, and you were. Well done.
That's why I'd offered before. So I could, the only thing I think I get a little too deep in this one. I think sometimes I have a hard time rising out of it in front stance. So I need to work on that.
Okay. I didn't see it as being overly deep, but if that's how you feel, then yeah, you got to work it.
All right, so Doug, I'm going to ask you to continue being our voice there for a while so we can keep you in the frame.
Yes, sir.
Recording,
Yes, sir.
as well as Sid. And we're going to be practicing your kicks. So front, side, and round kicks. Do 5 or so on each leg. You're going to be doing it together with Sid.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sid, do you want to face each other or however you want to face, I'll follow along with you. And if you'd like me to count, I'll count.
You count, and then when you're done with all 3 of those techniques, and then we'll take a little break and have the judges reconvene.
All right, very good. Sid, right foot to the rear. It looks like you're ready to do. And starting off with straightforward kick. Each. Knee. Song. She. Go. Roku. Oh, sorry, you only wanted 5 sensei or 10?
Yeah, we just want to get a small display. And judges can always ask for more if they need to, but I think 5 is enough for each kick.
Yes, sir.
And
Okay,
then
Sid,
switch legs.
continue with the right leg,
Switch legs.
side kick. Oh,
Uh,
switch leg. Oh,
Okay.
whatever you say, sensei. Switch legs and continue with straight-forward kick.
Yes, please.
Okay, straightforward kick. Ich, ni, son, shi. Go. And switch. Now side kick, right leg. Ich, ni, son, shi. Go. And switch. Allow Max to come in.
I'll wait for Matt to get up.
Okay.
Since I'm going for side kicks.
I wanna kick back.
Okay, Sid, continue with our left leg side kick. Ich, ni, son, shi. Go. And switch. Now roundhouse kick, right leg, and returning back with right foot in the rear. Ich, ni, son.
Feet are sticky.
It's okay. She. Go. And switch. Each. Knee. Son. She. Go. And relax.
Okay. All right, little break. Bob, are you able to see both their screens while they're doing this?
I am, and I've been toggling back and forth so I can emphasize one or the other.
Beautiful. Okay, why don't you comment on what you saw, please?
You know, I think this is going to be wonderful that it's taped because I think it shows the progression of both Sid and Doug. Doug, obviously, you've done this for a lot longer, so you've been able to tighten up your moves. And what I mean by that, not in a negative way, but there's less space between where you want to kick and how you're getting there. And I think, Sid, when you watch the video, you're going to be able to see exactly, hopefully, what I saw between the two of you, is that your progression's right where you're supposed to be. And as you continue to do this, you'll find ways to make your leg direction and the point of impact where you're going, it'll just become more efficient. More efficient, maybe is the way to say it. Both of you guys are right where you're supposed to be, and I'm very impressed. I wish I could kick like both of you because I can't.
Good answer.
Question for Sid. So you said, so your left foot is more sticky than the right foot?
Are
they both
weaker on the left, yes. So if I
Okay.
kick with the left, it's a little harder.
Okay.
When I meant sticky, I just meant I wasn't supposed to be
Turning, yeah. So what I was seeing is when you were on the left foot, you weren't inverting your foot to commit to do the kicks correctly. So and that's physically also dangerous because you put more pressure on the knee, right? So I'd love to see the mawashi geri, and I'd love to see the side kick on the left foot. And you can point, you can face Bob that way.
So side kick.
Yeah, start with the side kick, but on the left foot. So you're kicking with the right.
Oh, so you can just
Supporting foot is left, yeah.
Okay. And
Okay. And one more time. And one more time. Okay, so first time around, your foot was not moving, it was like in
Yeah.
place. So that's why you said it was sticky and it's sometimes hard to move. Okay. And mawashi gear, the run.
around those. This one I do.
And do the same thing, switch and do the same thing again. Alright, so that seems to me like this is your stronger side, because because you commit to the kick more, and also your supporting foot inverts more, allowing you to do the kick. It's less so on the left side, so it could be that it's just not your favorite, not your preferred side, right?
Possible.
Yeah.
But I don't usually stick this much.
It comes with the testing, I think.
Yeah, I think the sweat's a little extra today. It's never this hot in here.
Let's get something.
No, I don't need that one.
Sure.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
We'll stay hydrated.
my feet are.
Okay, you haven't had any worries.
Is that,
I bet
Should've
that
put
I
some
was there
baby
last
powder.
year.
Yeah, he's,
I was
he's
there
like a
last
dog.
year.
He's sweating through his feet.
I was gonna say I should have put some baby powder. Slide a little better.
And he's sliding.
So
As opposed to.
is that the reason that what I was seeing with the roundhouse where, you weren't pivoting enough? Is that because of the stickiness? Because what I
No, I
saw
wouldn't-
was when you were doing the roundhouse, this foot should have pivoted
A lot more, yeah.
more. And so is that because the floor was kind of sticky?
No, I wouldn't blame the floor. The
Okay.
mistake's mine. And the last few days I've been practicing the roundhouse, but always going through because of a kicking kata. And all of
Yeah.
a sudden I realized I had to hold back. So
Right,
it's me, not the floor.
yes.
Okay.
With the roundhouse, yeah, it's the more pivot here, and then you want to turn your body, rotate more than trying to do it from here,
Just
and that's where you lose kind of the balance. It's more where your foot's turning, but also your body is, as opposed to stopping here and then trying. So, but that's all I saw, there's a little more pivot, a little more turning, otherwise, yeah. I wish I could have done the forward kick as well as you did. But that's my continuing struggle. But anyway, we won't go into that. But
Okay, so one thing, because I hadn't seen you have that privilege with your run before, and I think you'll see it also in the video, when you were thinking about having to come back again, you didn't commit. You lifted your leg up, your body didn't go anywhere, and then you're trying to take all that great weight around without any real momentum, without any real intention. But when you brought it forward, just let it go.
Yeah.
So I'd like you to do that, just so you can see the difference. Move towards the camera a few times, alternate legs, and do your best kick, roundhouse kick.
So roundhouse kicks and moving ahead.
Moving ahead. Commit, and include your right arm, because it keeps lying there by itself, regardless of the kick you're doing. Be conscious of that, because that's going to include more rotation to your whole body. That's good. Thank you. Does that feel better for you?
Yeah. The idea of pulling it back is what's throwing me off.
I understand. Yeah, and it showed. But that's when you brought your leg up to your center, and your center line was in motion, and it produced a much better kick, and more safely done as our judges showed earlier.
Just to open lack of stability.
All right, nice job. Okay, Doug, I'm gonna ask you
Yes,
to do a more advanced kata for us.
Yes, sir.
And I want you to speak on it. That is Pasai Sho.
Ah, yes.
I'd
Beside
like,
show.
I'd like you to perform for the judges facing here first, and
Yes.
then facing away from the fire pit.
Facing away from the fire pit. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Speak
we'll
on it
comment on
first. And then
I'm sorry?
should I? I'm sorry. You said speak on it. Should I speak on it before I perform it, or perform it and then talk about it?
Do the kata, then we'll talk.
Yes, sir. Beside show. Hey! Sorry, should be down here. I learned that yesterday. And then away from the fireplace. Beside show.
Thank you, the judges. Comments, questions? No? Okay, well,
I'm glad to,
let me speak on it for a moment, and then I'm going to ask you to give your analysis of it, because that was part of your test requirements to analyze this kata in some depth, along with Wanshu. So if this were the kata that determined whether or not you passed the test today, would you be satisfied with what we just did?
not when I turned that way. I
Okay.
felt much better this way, and I don't practice it in all directions. I mainly practice it this way, and sometimes I practice it that way, but because I usually have the couch here, I haven't done that way. But ultimately, I should be practicing this outside in a different
Okay,
environment.
let me interrupt you for a
altogether.
second, because I think I understand what you're saying, okay?
Yes.
I want you to form the kata like this is the one that's going to determine whether or not you're going to pass the test today.
Yes, sir.
Because what I'm seeing so far is too much mind.
Yes.
Every movement looks like you're pausing to do something, and sometimes your arm doesn't even move when the other one is in motion. It looks like everything is just 1, 2, 3, 4. I can count the numbers, and I'm pretty sure the judges are seeing that to some extent also, or maybe even better than I am. But I don't see integration, I don't see commitment, I don't see intensity. So this is the advanced form that's going to determine whether or not you pass today. So perform it that way, and then we'll talk.
Yes.
Any comment?
Sideshow. Right?
Just a moment, Arlette would like to comment.
Oh, yes, please, Arlette.
Just one suggestion too, if you could do it at a slower pace, so
Yes.
we can see more completion in the movements. That would be
Yes.
helpful. Thank you.
Sideshow. Yeah.
And judges, questions, comments?
This was better. I want to see the same thing at half speed.
At half speed. Yes.
At half speed, and I want to see some asynchronous approach. I don't want this to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and neither do you. So
Yes.
break it up the way you need to. Commit to the things that need to be committed. Run through faster through the things that come together as a sequence.
Okay. Yes.
Where you understand it.
What am I to share? Sorry.
What I'm saying is just run through the kata again, and I don't mean
Yes.
run. Perform the kata for us, please, one more time at half speed. If you feel like you have to speed up at times to commit to a sequence, do it. It's up to you how you visualize the kata. If you want
Yes.
to pause in a dramatic fashion on some specific move, do that. It could be beneficial also. But try to separate moves. Try to not make it less formulaic, less by numbers, more by movement and
Feeling.
kata.
Yes. Sideshow. Still didn't feel good. I
Yes,
felt
my
better about the
friend,
beginning of that.
This is what I wanted to see. Very nicely done.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Yeah.
Doc. Good
Yeah.
job.
agreed.
Again, you're in Texas, we're on video, like we could do a telescope into individual things and everything else. This is what I wanted to see. This is what should happen at your level. Great.
I'll work more at that. My katas are very monochromatic. They're just, I know. That's something I need to work on.
Look, if you didn't know or couldn't, that would be one story. But we know that you can and
Yes.
you should. So that's where the comment
Yeah.
is, and it's completely constructive. Hopefully you see that
I do. Thank you,
there's
sir.
benefit in this back and forth and stuff. So good job, man.
Great job by you guys.
Yeah,
Very,
very
very
good comment.
very good comments, questions, judges. Thank you. Okay, take a break, Doug. Make sure you get a little bit of what is it you drink in Texas? Whatever it is.
Iced tea, that's all they're allowed to drink.
Goat milk.
I was about to say, I was about to say the same thing, goat milk. We were thinking.
But I am ready to analyze that anytime.
It's a test.
There's nothing wrong with goat milk. I like goat milk.
It's very nice.
Okay, I would like to do the first three kings of the first king content. Let's see. Closer? I'm sorry.
No, I thought she was gonna hold up price.
But no. She's gonna do what? No, she's gonna be doing jujitsu with me. Okay, so I'm gonna call it the kicks, and you're gonna just the first three. Outside crescent, front snap, turning roundhouse. Very good. I want you to advance a little bit more on that turning roundhouse. Okay, like you're trying to go through. Okay. Don't step any closer. Just advance yourself a little bit more on that last kick. Okay. And everybody can see. Okay, from this
Yes, sir.
position. Okay, outside crescent. Front snap, turning roundhouse. Okay, good. Now keep dropping that right arm. I'm going to keep hitting you right there. Understood? Okay, outside crescent, front snap, turning roundhouse. Good. That's much better. Okay, now no count, just go. Good. Okay, right. Now do the kata. Facing any direction that the judge may want.
I guess this is slightly longer.
Good. All right. Except for that little grin you gave me. And the dead flat arm. I think it's not too bad.
But he didn't stop.
He did, I know.
And he's been practicing the iron
Yeah,
broom
he
too.
did.
Iron, all that.
He did
Lots
stop.
of, lots of good stuff.
Well, pop, from what you said.
Yeah.
Use it, pop.
So would you feel more comfortable if you went a different direction?
I think it'll be just
There's a bit more space there.
It'll be just as stressful sensei.
I think the one you exactly what that would be, yes. Okay, go again. Okay. Questions, judges?
Yeah, no, I could see you've been practicing on the iron broom, and and just just a little minor choreography, what's that? Choreographer. Well, anyway, whatever, you know what I'm trying to say. But just like little minor things regarding the choreography, that will come as you become more and more familiar with the kata. But yeah.
Very good. I'm not gonna ask you to do that with your left leg unless you want to demonstrate it.
No sense, I'll take the easy out. For comedic effect, maybe after it I will.
But we all agree, I think you've done a lot of work
Yeah.
and progressing. I know it's not easy. You just started learning it rather recently too.
I had to overcome my shyness of using the Kia.
No, you're doing fine. Yeah, just work on getting your body in there. You're not just throwing kicks around, you're trying to protect yourself and anticipating a response back to whatever you're kicking at. So make sure you keep that in mind. All these techniques, all these drills. Okay, I'm going to leave it all up to Alette to choose the next subject and person or people to do. So I'll let everybody choose.
You did skip my analysis, Sensei, just so you know. I'm always ready to do that if you decide.
Then let's do that, Doug. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. So Pasai Sho, I researched, and Pasai Sho is in many different styles. In Japanese, it's Pasai Sho with a B, and generally we call it storming the castle, storming the gates. And when I look at it, I think that's because it has kind of all attacks. Other katas that we do have far more, block, punch, block, punch. There's a lot more if you're thinking of a blocks in there, but this one's like just a continuous fight. You're always on, you're boom, boom, boom. The other thing that I saw in researching it was that besides there being many different forms, and I watched a number of them on YouTube, and I have to say, they're really not that different, all of them, from each other and what we practice. When I talk about Wanshu later, Wanshu, every single Wanshu on the internet is completely different between all the styles, but all the Pasai shows are very similar. But I saw one or two practitioners talk about it also meaning possibly turning disadvantage into advantage. And I found that to be interesting because when I do a lot of katas, where it's Nahachi or whatever, it's not that I'm thinking of myself as the aggressor. I think somebody's attacking me, but I think of myself winning and pushing and whatnot. I don't think of myself being at a disadvantage and turning into an advantage. I think of these people messed with the wrong guy. And so when you think of turning disadvantage into advantage, that almost states that you've done something, or again, storming the castle, you're against an overwhelming number of opponents, or they have the high ground, or they're stronger than you. And so you have to shift it. And I started analyzing the kata because, again, it's attack, attack, attack. Where would I be at a disadvantage? And where would I turn that into advantage? And there's probably a lot of sections of it. In the very beginning, somebody's grabbed me and pulled, and I'm trying to get them off me and then pull them around. But the spot that I really came to mind and really worked for me, now I'm going to turn for the kata. After we've come around, I'm thinking somebody's grabbed me and they pulled me over, and I'm trying to get through them. And I'm at a disadvantage, right? They're pulling me forward. I know we like to think, oh, I'm driving them forward, but I'm thinking in this case, I was off guard. I was attacking somebody. I got pulled by somebody else. I'm off guard. I'm trying to regain my balance. And finally here, even though they have control of me, I do. And I pulled them into my hip. And now wrestling with them to get them over, to get them in front of me. So I'm here and I get a punch in where I can. And now maybe they hit me and I'm pulling them this way and we're grappling this way. So it was in researching this kata, trying to think of yourself in a form at a disadvantage. I don't know, maybe everybody thinks of it that way, but I always think of myself as dominating. I blocked your punch. I got you. I'm here. I'm wrestling. I'm moving. I'm winning. I don't often think of they got me. They took me by surprise. I'm at a disadvantage. How am I going to turn this around and turn it around quick? And so I thought that was the most interesting piece of my research on Pasai Sho. And when I do it in the future, because I only did this research a few days ago, I'm definitely going to look for more spots where I'm at a disadvantage. And I'm also going to think about storming the castle, about I'm against overwhelming odds and it's just a constant attack. I can't let up, because if I let up, I'm going to get overwhelmed.
That's an excellent analysis, by the way. Very well done.
Thank you.
Doug,
Great job, Doug.
I think you're at a disadvantage every time you're being attacked by somebody.
I would say so, yes.
Yeah. So, can you tell a little bit about storming the castle concept in Pasai and Basai? Are we storming head-on, force against force? What do you see in Pasai Sho that tells you that we are in fact storming the castle, and how do we use that disadvantage of being attacked against the attacker? Specifically focusing on force on force. How is that being mitigated? How is it being used in a smarter way? What are we doing to storm that castle?
So I would like to think it depends. If the castle's being swarmed and it's the castle's being swarmed, I'm a defender. And I know that sometimes Sensei has said we're defending the castle, right? Defending the castle. I would like to think that in a castle, the opponents have to come up the stairs, right? I'm on top of the wall, they're breaking in, they're coming up. And because they're coming up, it means I have the high ground, which means that I can throw my weight around a little bit more. I can fall a little bit more. So when we do our techniques, we often, instead of just doing a kick and having it here, I'm falling into it. And when I fall into it, I'm pushing my power. So if I'm thinking about that, I have the high ground, somebody's grabbed, if I'm pushing down, if I'm falling down here and I'm changing direction often, if we're on stairs or we're on a balcony and I'm changing direction, I'm throwing people off, or I'm pushing them off, or I have the high ground, I'm able to rotate and drop on them, then I'm using my ground to my advantage. If it's the opposite, that I'm the attacker, I don't know that the spins and everything are going to work the same way. So I would think of it more as the way Sensei describes it. We are the palace guard, and we are the castle is being attacked, and we're defending it. And then in my mind, some of the spins, some of the falls, some of the movements work better with it.
Interesting way to look at it. That's definitely, I mean, the research that you did, it makes sense. When I think about this, and granted I haven't done research on this in a while, I think of the castle as just the opponent, somebody who is possibly stronger than me, just one person, right, one entity. And so you're absolutely correct in pointing out the rapid turns, the evasive maneuvers, even the very first move of the kata, as we're not storming that castle, that person, in a stupid way, force against force. We find angles, we find entry points, we find a way to minimize the energy required to defeat that person, right? And so that's where this kata shines. It's never force against force. It's a lot of this, turning, angling, coming in from the side, and that's what allows us to storm the fortress, in my opinion. So yes, you can look at this as it's a fortress with many people, but for me, my visualization, it's one against one, and it's,
I like that.
It's bigger and stronger. But
And so
I-
David, well, that would work with both definitions. I took it more literally. And again, it's just from reading it all on the internet. But if it's David versus Goliath, if you've got a big person, then going back to your original point, you're being attacked, and therefore weakness into strength, you're at a disadvantage into advantage. They're bigger than you. So you have to do these things to get the advantage. And again, they're bigger. They're the castle, right? You're storming them. So I like your interpretation, and I think it fits very well with another interpretation to what I said, but along with the lines of what I'm talking about.
Thank you, Doug. I absolutely agree. So it's either a bigger person, or it could be the person the same size as you are, but they initiated the attack. And as we all know, the person that initiates the attack has the advantage.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job, everybody. Okay, Bob, go ahead. Yeah. I had asked you to coordinate some movement between Sid and Doug, whatever it is you want on the list that they can do together.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that was directed at me, correct?
That's it, yes.
Okay, thank you. I've got their info up here.
Mhm.
Are you thinking of like a kata at the same time, or are you thinking more of just like a technique type of?
I'm going to ask you to choose.
Let me take something off the menu. Let me throw something at you that I think you both would be comfortable with. We do practice a lot of just straight punches, and that includes the one where we go high, middle, low. So why don't we do a series of those? So that's a 3-punch, right? So I don't know if you can see me here, but it's high, middle, low.
Oh, yes.
That move, like
Yes.
that. I don't want to count, because I think what's going to happen, unless Pedro pins someone else, it's going to just reflect on me speaking. So maybe Sid, I can have you count it, and we'll do high, middle, low on the punch, please.
All right, and count every punch or once?
I would just count one for each 3, please.
Once. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hutch, ku, ju.
Can we do it one more time? This time, let it flow. So just like the when you go, each should be 1, 2, 3.
Okay. All right. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, sich, hutch, ku, ju.
How'd that feel? Does that feel okay?
Yep.
Okay. Doug, would you, I'll have you count this out. Again, something slightly different. Why don't we do this? We'll go from a ready stance. Forgive me, I'm gonna try and stand up. I gotta put the dog down. The dog's been watching the whole time.
The ultimate judge.
He is the ultimate judge. So we're gonna start from ready stance. And when you count out, you're gonna go into forward stance with gate umbarai, and you're gonna throw a gyakuzuki, or reverse punch. And then you're gonna bring it back up.
And are
then
we
you
going to,
use and then you use the other leg. So forward stance,
Yes.
gate umbarai, strike, and come back. And you alternate left, right, left, right.
and you want to low block each time, or remove the block?
So it'll be forward stance, low block, reverse punch each time, and then you reset into ready stance.
Okay, yes, sir. Sid will step forward for our right leg.
And I'm sorry, Doug, could you turn 90 degrees, please?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, stepping forward for our right side, Sid. Each. Knee. Son. Shi. Go. Roku. Sichi. Hachi. Ku. Chu.
Nice. And would you then replace the gate umbarai with a high block, please?
Yes, sir. Okay, again, starting off of our right side, Sid.
Okay.
Each. Knee. Son. Shi. Go. Roku. Sichi. Hachi. Ku. Chu.
Nice. I'm gonna ask for one more, just because it's something different. And I
Of
think
course.
those we typically don't do in class, but this one I think we do. I'd like you to go from ready stance. You're gonna do a forward kick into, and you're gonna end up in forward stance. So,
Yep.
So I don't know if you can see, but it'd be a kick, and as you come in, reverse punch, and then come back.
Kick, reverse punch, and then come back to ready.
Yes.
Yes.
And again, what I'm really looking for is just sort of the body coordination as you do this, especially when it's something that's somewhat unique. So
Yes.
give it a go, please.
Okay, Sid, starting off with our right side. Each. Knee. Son. Shi. Go. Roku. Sichi. Hachi. Ku. Chu.
Thank you.
I must be progressing to a bit because I feel weird about not moving my right hand and just moving my left. And I'm usually so happy with leaving it just lazily at my sides.
If I may, for both of you gentlemen, so unless you're fighting armless opponents, let's redo the last sequence with actual usage of arms. Okay, we're not fighting in hikite, dog, right?
Yep, that's what I was saying. It
So,
feels weird
Let's
having
be a little bit free flowing with this, and you understand that this is an important part. It's a weapon, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
no dead hands. So let's do this again, please.
Okay, so Sid, we'll start off right side, get those hands up, maybe throw a block in before we get that punch in. Right side, each. E. Zone. Shi. Go. Roku. Sichi. Hachi. Ku. Chu.
All right, question.
I like the feel of that.
Compared to the previous
A
one,
lot different.
how does it feel different?
I have my body going with the kick, a little more protected, and I'm ready to throw a little better as opposed to,
Okay,
because it's all kind of tight here.
yeah, yeah. Good.
Yeah.
And right away, I want to ask you about your Gidambarai, the low block, okay? Can you demonstrate, face that direction? And just the low block punch that you were doing before.
Just the rope block.
Bob, what was the sequence, number one that you were doing? It was a low block punch, no kick, right?
That's correct. It was just going into forward stance, Gedanbarai with a reverse punch.
Okay, do 10 of those, Sid, please, yes.
Alternately.
Yeah, and alternate between left and right. Okay, thank you. Question for all the judges. We're good with the Gedan, with the Sid's Gedanbarai if we get called to the Gedanbarai competition tomorrow? What do we have to do here?
Well, I guess I would ask you, Sid, since you were specifically called out on this. Boy, what is your intention when you're doing it, other than to satisfy the request that I gave you to do this?
It's true. I mean, the obvious is someone's attacking me and I'm trying to block them and right away hit them at the back. Yeah. So that's what comes to my mind. It's just,
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. I think if your movement is based on what you think you are trying to accomplish, then you're golden. Yeah, sometimes on these types of rank advancements or questions like that, if you're not quite sure of the intention, you got to kind of make it up to make sure that it comes alive.
And the reason I brought this up, Sid, is I'm seeing that occasionally there is just an arm placement. Arm placement is not sufficient for that thing. So this is where Bob's question is, like, why do you do this? Because we don't automatically assume that this is wrong. We may think this is wrong, but you may have a good reason for that stuff. So when you just place the arm, you're missing this whole area, the sweep, the stuff that you can do, right? So you need to focus on, yes, it requires dropping of the knees a little bit and lowering the body, but it's a very important technique, not necessarily a block, right? Could be a variety of different things. But there is a difference between doing this or this, and then doing a really good upper body technique, and something that you are actually doing this, this, and then all this other stuff that comes into play. So that's what I wanted to convey to you. We don't have to study this right now or even focus on this right now, but every move, whether it's lower body technique or upper body technique, there is this that's involved, right? So we'd like to see a sweep. We'd like to see commitment to protecting this lower body when you're doing this, okay? And it also needs to be incorporated. That's why they want to see the techniques together, because it's more difficult than just standing doing this, right? You have to drop the weight and expand, drop the weight and expand. That's what we're trying to do. So try this again. I think you know what we're asking, right? And again, facing that direction, because it's nice to see from the side. So Gedanbarai, imagine somebody is trying to stab you in the groin or something, or somebody's trying to get to your knees or something like that. So this is a technique that would possibly allow you to get out of the way, intercept. Go ahead. Thank you.
Much better movement.
Yeah.
The intent is so important that sometimes we neglect it. We look at the final result of what we're trying to do and forget the path. So great observation by the judges and great way of recovery from that. Did a good job of explaining that. You have that understanding. Very good.
Just one more piece of advice on the high, middle, low that Bob started you off on. Sometimes I had problems distinguishing between your middle and your low, because your middle and your low sometimes look the same. So I would say like more emphasis to high, middle, low, because sometimes the low would be like here, which wasn't really distinguishable from the.
It was more mid, yeah. I
Yeah,
agree with you.
so if you would just do 5, so
Okay, yeah. Face you?
Yeah.
Alright.
Or where
Or
are
wherever.
once you do that?
I think I prefer this. The two-dimensional thing kind of throws me off. H. Knee. Son. She. Go. Rook. Hutch. Sitch. Coo. Chew.
yeah, I can see the difference. And then the one last thing too, I could definitely tell the high from the middle to the low is also like when Sensei teaches us in class, the pulling motion where you, again, it's remembering to use the body to move the arms. So instead of saying it's.
Gotcha.
Remember, the body moves the arms, that's where the power comes from.
Understood, yeah. Try again?
Yeah, just not 5 of them.
Okay, just that. H. Knee. Son. She. Go.
Yeah, if you could do it just a little slower.
Okay.
And, be
Alright.
more conscious, it doesn't have to be fast, just.
H. Knee. Son. She. Go. Rook. You going?
No, that's enough, and it'll
I
come,
think I'm doing this left arm.
yeah, it'll
straight.
come, because again, it doesn't have to be, it can be softer, like,
Okay.
it, as opposed to like,
Gotcha.
and it'll come. We're also working on it, with me. But good. I could see the difference when you did it over with the high, middle, low, and using more of the body.
Great. Then I'll just add to this, your intention there was good, your focus was good. I could feel the floor moving while you're doing that last set, which tells me that you're integrating your body more and understanding where that force is coming from and going to. That maybe not do it consciously, but show it. Yeah, well, watch out for that dragging thumb. Sometimes you gotta figure out that this is not just a thrust, this could be a grab, a tear, a movement that requires that full intent. It just can't be, I'm putting my hand out there. It'll never work. You gotta work on that.
Did I do that or?
Yeah. It's right there.
No, I did it now,
Yeah,
but I'm
yeah.
like, did I do it?
Sid, are you giving us thumbs up?
Yes, he is. Hey,
The judges, yeah. It's usually the other way around if something goes wrong.
okay.
Judging the judges.
All right, so we'll do at least one more thing that I'll see you both do together, okay? Fukuyukata ni, all right? Fukuyukata ni, created by who, Doug?
Miyagi.
Very
Sensei
good,
Miyagi. Yes.
very good, okay, nice. You knew that, right?
Yeah.
Of course you did. Okay, with my count, and what I'm looking for is, and the judges also, obviously, people in attendance as well, is how well you do this. That doesn't look like we're doing it by the numbers, okay? So do it slow if you need to, complete each movement as best you can, incorporate your footwork so we don't look like we're trying to walk on top of the water. Try to get in your body as well as into your spirit as you do this. Okay, Yosuke, right? Got each, I'm sorry, got the knee. Your, itch, me, sun. Good, go back and do it again. Okay, I want you both to take that movement where you go from high to drop to low. And
Yes.
try not to think of it as a single arm technique, which is what it appears to be to me. we forget about what's happening and we focus on that.
Yes,
Especially from you, Doug. Don't want to see
yes,
that. You're putting your hand back here and you're just letting this dominate the movement. There's nothing behind it.
yes,
Okay? Watch when you're dropping that position. You're dropping like you're in Igor's hot bar class, doing creating a position. Can't do that here. You gotta be able to adduct and make sure that you feel like you're able to move into the next position. Otherwise, here, you got a stalemate. Okay, just some things to consider, especially on that rather difficult movement, because it sets the stage for the other changes in your stances that you're gonna be doing throughout the kata. That's
Yes.
why I want to see better footwork, okay? Not just the appearance of the upper body, but the integration of the full body. Okay, Kiyosuke, right? We got the knee, your, ich, knee, san, shi, go, rok, sech, hach, ku, kia, ich, knee, san, shi,
hey,
go, kia,
hey.
yame, yasume. Okay, good. Now you're just going to do it individually. Sid,
Yes.
you're first. Okay, this is your kata now. Okay, express it in your way as fully as you can.
Okay, got the knee.
You're good. Okay, and we'll come back to you in just a second. Doug, your turn.
Yes. Ready? Yo.
Okay, Doug, you have to do that again.
Yes.
Because there was no sound coming from your house at all. Not even a goat. I didn't hear a chicken. I didn't hear anything.
I must have been on mute, Sensei.
Let us hear some breathing and let us hear some expression. Okay, I want to see more from that intensity. Do it completely, but a little bit more intensity so we can
Yes.
actually see you. Go for it.
Yes, sir. Ready? Yo. Hey! Hey! Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, judges, relate to this concept specifically, please.
I find this is one of my favorite katas. I've always enjoyed this one. And it just, sometimes you move on to the more what they call advanced katas and you sort of, you poo-poo the fundamental katas. I love this one. I can see the difference in the training and the years of training between what Doug is doing and what Sid is doing. And I love the fact that Sid is doing so much better now than he was just a couple of months ago. It's great. There's a lot of good movement in there. I was pleased with both of them. Well done.
Bob, when you say they call it advanced kata, who are you referring to? Are you referring to our esteemed sensei?
Well, everything goes back to Sensei, but only good things go back to Sensei.
Good recovery. Good recovery. Yeah, with gratitude, I echo what Bob said so well. It's not an easy kata. There's a lot of stuff in there. None of the kata are easy. This is even more not easy than some other katas. So good job, guys. For what you are accomplishing, it's great. Great to see.
I agree. And Sid, what I was impressed with is that throughout the kata, you were able to keep that position of the arm without bringing it back. And that's such a temptation when you're in a kata and your arm comes back like this on you, pulling in the energy. But you were able to keep that shape throughout. on a kata, that's not that easy, and you know, I was impressed by that.
I would love to work with both of you on changing the kick a little bit in the kata and make it a more expressive kick, you know, more
Okay.
kinetic kick, less of an afterthought, but all in good time. For both of you.
Can I ask you a question? Do you think of the kick as landing or as an entry technique into the next move?
I think that the kick is transitional stuff, and it depends on the intensity and how far you want to take it, but you definitely have to bring it back. You can't let it just linger there and drop after the kick. You have to kick, bring back, and then move as you're moving through the kick. I don't see
Okay.
it in a different way, you know, unless there is a reason, unless you can explain why you just kick and let go at that time.
That
So
was
when
partly
it's
my
Hmm?
question.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was partly my question because I am throwing it and I'm throwing into it, right? So I think of it as I'd like it to land, but if it did land, I'd like to think my opponent is further back. So I'm thinking that this is more an entry that I'm in there, and that's why I'm overextending. I see what you say. You want us to kick and then enter, and I'm using it to flop in because I'm thinking it's a distraction so I can get in and wrestle with them and then throw them across. And so your clarification helps.
And that works for me too, as long as you have an explanation on why you're doing things a specific way, and unless it's patently wrong, which it's not, right? My position on this is that when we kick, you know, I know I'm moving forward, so I kick, but I like the option of doing something else if that didn't work or they moved away, right? So if I commit, I have to move. But if I kick and didn't commit and bring it back, then I can do a variety of things that I can't do otherwise. So that's when I do the kata, that's how I feel about that. So I'd like to do this and then move after that. Does that make sense?
It does, and I like that. I've certainly had, maybe we all have, where somebody's holding a pad, you go to kick, and they drop it, they call ush or something like that. And if you're kicking the way you say, you're able to control yourself. And if you don't, you end up on the floor. And it's not good if you're sparring an opponent and you do a kick such that if they block it or they get out of the way, you're going to be on the floor. So the control you bring up is not something I'm practicing in that move of the kata. So thank you for bringing that up.
I have a question, Sensei. What is the meaning of kick in this one? I mean, I heard both sides of the stories, but I still don't understand what the meaning of the kick is.
Well, think of the move just before that, Mac, and start that assessment there, I would suggest. So the very
Can you perform it so we could watch out the
I'll do it real quickly, so we can take this to a class also, because it's a good understanding to have. So the previous movements have us coming into this position on one side or another, depending on what direction you're going into. So when we're coming into blocking here, and this implies that maybe I'm holding something here, and I might be able to do a motion like this, like you would describe, or the movement suggests that I have to go in and under to form the next movement, whatever that movement might be. So it provides for a number of different variations, depending on how you interpret it.
So in this concept for knee, if we got the knee, when you're kicking, which one matters more? Is it the kick that's taking you into the next motion, which is more important, or is the kick that's allowing you time to get to the next one? That's where I'm not getting it.
Yes, I would say don't get fixated too much on one or the other. It could be all of the above, depending on what I just said. So look
am I with an opponent this way and that way?
So look at the movement that we're coming into. We're coming up in order to go down as we're coming into this position. So yes, you could use it as clearing a path into an opponent and bringing it into a more upright position. As you're using this last motion here, you're going into this position. I'll show you from the side as well, so you can see from the camera. And the movement has this coming forward. Obviously, that's why it's a forward kick. But it can also be a short movement like this that allows for the opponent being here, the target being right here. It also gives us the option of getting further into this and seeing what the next technique is, which is getting underneath something, typically.
And then you're turning. So you could be with one person this way and another person on the other side.
Yeah, generally, this could be with this, what's the
So
same
you're
person.
going in, turning, pausing, coming back, and you're right there, okay.
Yeah, the intent is to be able to see as much as you can from every option. And so the front kick quite often is the most commonly used in kata, as you all know. But it's not just a kicking with a foot. It's a placement of the body, it's a obstruction as you're coming in. It can be many, many things. You know, it could be taking someone down with a front sort of maneuver. Taking out the front.
Have you seen the video that Sensei sent out for Gekisai H, which is the same as Fukigatami? The demonstration there was he kicked the guy in the groin, comes down, and he's using the elbow to basically hit the head that's coming down. And the movement that you see over here is him basically dragging the same head to the other side. So that's how he explained it, like the application. Kick followed by.
I always thought it was an attack kick.
It is an attack kick.
I thought it was an attack to clear, to turn around or grab and do whatever.
Yeah, his interpretation was an attack kick, but you're hitting the groin, so the head comes up, and that's why you have the arm coming up right away, and then the grab to the other side.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, keep your minds open and see different things.
Right.
And look at it typically, you're trying to figure out just what does this move mean? Because some moves are really not clear, as you all know, in some kata. And it's not, that's why people make up stuff to fit the form. You know, you don't want to do that. You want to be able to understand what is it that my body is doing in this context, and how does it link to the positions before and after? That makes sense for the whole context, right? And that's how you really do analysis of kata. Yeah,
Who brought up the kick thing right now? That was really good.
That was my fault.
was me.
I think it was.
I'm sorry. Yes, it was Sensei. Sorry.
Is you?
It was
No,
Igor.
it wasn't me.
Yeah, it was
Igor
good.
was the one who.
Guilty.
The one working with
No,
No,
Dr.
just to understand it, like
Yeah.
different perspectives.
It's a good lesson, yeah. Good. And again, as someone said before, and I think it was one of the judges, you know, this basic kata is far from it. It's really what you do with it. You know, if you remain basic, yeah, it's, you know, you can do the choreography, and then as soon as somebody says, oh, turn this direction, we're not gonna be able to do it, or as well, right? Because all we know is the form. But, you know, if we can really take each form, including this one, and especially this one, in my view, this is one of my favorite forms, and adapt it to what you need in any context. And I'm talking about any context. You know, people behind you, in front of you, on top of you, it doesn't really matter. Then you really have a good working knowledge of how to use this form. Those are great questions, great observations. Yeah, okay, all right. We're running a little bit short of time, so I want the judges to interject in just a moment again, but I have one request I always make of everyone who's tested, as you all know, you've been here long enough, and that is, Doug, there are many things on your form on your sheet that we did not get a chance to do, but my question to you is there anything that you want to do that you could do better? You have one more chance, or something that you didn't get a chance to do that you want to show?
So I haven't gotten to do any of the brown belt self-defense techniques, and those have been difficult for me. And so I would like to show those, because if I don't do well at them, then I don't expect to pass.
Fine with me?
All right. So I'll start off with Seisan break. So. Okay, I'll switch to front kick. I'm sorry. Yeah, I believe it's called front kick takedown. I'll switch now to Pinan, Godon, block and throw. Trying to think of the other one. Simultaneous block and punch. And I know I'm missing one. I'm missing parry block, knee strike, elbow.
Arm break.
I'm sorry?
Is it arm break again? Arm break.
Oh, arm breaks, yes.
Yeah, there it is.
I believe I got all the brown belt ones.
Doug, on the which the one that's the takedown? I think it was second or third that you were doing. Which one? I forgot the name.
the Pinon, Godon block
Block
and
and throw,
throw.
no, before that.
What does it say, Pat?
Trying to get to it, Pat.
Oh, the front kick takedown?
Yes, can we see that one, Mark? And again, I of course know the name because I'm a senior student.
You were testing me,
What's the
sir.
name of this technique again?
It's Pinon go down, block and throw. Not that one?
Yeah.
The takedown?
Front kick
Front
takedown,
kick
I believe.
takedown.
Or take takedown.
Okay, alright, do that one slowly, please.
Okay.
Okay.
And I can scoot back if my leg's not on camera. I apologize. I'm not looking at myself.
You're gonna get some major carpet burns after today, I know, so.
It's a
Doug, when you do this technique, when you're on the tail end of the technique, turn your head in the
all the way.
direction where you're throwing the person. Because that would also turn your shoulders and allow you to look to where you want that body to go.
Yes.
Yes.
There it is.
Okay, do you see it? Do you see your trunk is rotating outward more so, allowing you to do what you
Yes.
try to do? Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions about that? So look, I'll just say one thing, and you can do this sequence again if you want, or just take a selected one or two. But in every one of the ones you did, you did them well, and you know them well. But I didn't see any attempt to move your center line
Out of the way.
the
Yes.
attack. You were moving into it, except for the very last one where you did the rotation, and then I could see some daylight behind you. Otherwise, you were covering the same space on the window behind you with every technique. Does that make sense?
You're right. It
Yeah.
does. So the attack's coming in. I was just trying to catch it instead of get out of the way. One.
Yeah, so take a couple and just show that, because I know you know it. Just
Yes. I'm sorry. That's an elbow strike. So.
Breathe a little harder. We're not getting you on the.
Yes, sir. Hey! Hey! Okay, and then if I switch to this one. Hey! 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 He! He! Hey! And then parry block, knee strike, bro. Hey! 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 Oh, did I lose you guys? Are you still there?
So here,
Yeah,
We're here.
Oh.
We got you.
I'm sorry. For some reason, oh, all right. Sorry, my computer went to sleep. And it changed. I'm sorry. Okay, and then did I forget one? Say something about
I think you did enough for me, Doug. I see how the point that I was making earlier, you correct yourself.
Yes.
Again, I'm just using the windows of reference, and from what I can tell, you're moving much better.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, same question for you, Sid. Something that you've done already that you think you do better, or something you haven't had a chance to show yet?
Can I try Fukikata-ni, but this time with a slightly different kick? Because I think Igor told me something yesterday, and I just want to see if I can do it. That's
Great idea.
yeah, okay. Because we spoke about this. Fukikata-ni. And I meant to add that I'll be going slow, just so I can focus on the kick.
Fully noted.
Fukikata-ni. at the kick, but I think I made some other mistakes though.
You win some, you lose some.
It's a good choice though, on many levels, I think. Okay, judges, we're coming to the end, but I want each of you, if you will, to express something you want to see them do or questions you have of them, please. Starting with you, Bob.
Sure. Doug, I know you put a lot of effort into some of these other kata that you have not been asked to do before.
Yes.
Between Wanshu Wankan and Kusanku Sho, which one would you like to demonstrate?
I have to admit, I really do like Kusanku, sir.
Please do that.
Kusanku. Right? Yoi. Hey! Sorry, I probably should practice that with the headset on.
No worries. No worries.
If I could do that again, I definitely got distracted when I lost my headset,
Yeah, and Doug,
which I should not have.
keep heavy breathing, do some movement, maybe rustle some of the carpet fibers.
Yes.
So we can try to keep your image in
Oh,
the
you guys can't
recording.
hear me? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it shifts to my fountain in the backyard, I think, when you're not breathing.
When I'm quiet. The birds. Okay, repeat that kata.
Yes, please.
Kusanku Sho. Right? Yoi. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, sorry.
You shouldn't be sorry. You're
There's a lot of
doing it.
spinning. Got to tape it on. I should have put the headband around it.
Good.
So
Thank you for.
what's the last move? Is it this or is it putting on the
It's his kata, not mine.
I was trying to catch it with a kick, but that didn't work.
That would have been good.
That would be that would have been beautiful.
Adding a move.
All right, Bob, is that to your satisfaction?
It is. Thank you.
Judges, anything else you want to say about that?
About that kata or about that dog?
That Doug. Well, we have a couple more minutes, so if you have something that either of you want to see from Sid and Doug, now's the time.
Yeah, Sid, what do we want to see from you? We already saw everything. We didn't see any push-ups. Can you do push-ups? Does that?
No,
All right.
I think no is a perfectly right answer in this situation.
I am satisfied with Sid's, with what Sid did. I saw everything I needed to see. So.
No, sorry, I was just.
Sure. All right.
Yeah, let's see here. Okay. Well, I'll be mean. I'll be mean to, can you do 50 squats?
Squats like this.
Do we have time for that, Sensei?
Yeah, we actually have.
You're not me, you're thorough.
Arlette, can I join? May I join in with Sid?
Okay, so
Arlette, can I join in with Sid?
every time I throw my arm out, Sid's gonna do a squat.
Oh, so
We
it's time.
we get closer. We may not make it to 50 because that's almost as old as I am, and I don't stand up that long anymore. Are you ready, sir?
Yes, sir.
Sit, hands up, hands up.
Good idea. Good. Good body. Good. That's 50.
It's 25, but who's counting?
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Anything else?
I've never done squats that way before.
It's amazing.
Life or death squats.
Okay then. Why don't everybody relax, take a breath, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, congratulations, both of you, for doing a great job. Hang in there. I know it's still suspenseful, but there's another piece of this to happen, okay? So talk amongst yourselves.
Alright, good job, Doug, good job.
Thank you, Matt.
And Doug, you get credit for doing those squats. I saw it. There's a witness.
I don't know if I was muted. I was going, can I do the squats also, Arlette? Because I can't,
Oh,
Sid,
yeah.
I have to thank you.
Okay, go ahead, the squats?
Yeah, well, I was
Alrighty.
doing them. I was doing them while Squid was.
Oh.
Sorry, while Sid was.
You just go, you squid.
I know.
Squid. This is a very exciting kind of.
Alright, Doug, let's have some fun while Sensei is signing certificates. Do a 2 squat and a squat jump.
A squat and a squat jump.
2 squats and squat jump.
Dang.
Yeah,
Whoa.
that's how they do it in
Alright.
Texas.
I can even hit the top of the screen.
Oh, hey, okay.
Look at that. I've never jumped that high.
Nice, man.
That's what we're talking about.
Impressive,
Very
impressive.
good.
You know, Doug, I forgot to suggest this. If you had brought one of the goats in, your goat could have been an uke. You could have done all sorts
There
of
you go.
No, he really has. I thought they were messing with you, Doug.
The problem is we have a new one, and she probably could have beaten me. Megan and Aiden call her Batty. I call her batshit crazy, but you know, she could have taken me down.
All right. So we've got 2 certificates and 2 belts to award today. Okay. First one is going to be to our newest member. And just to give you a little bit of background, most of you know this, not all of you. Okay. Sid joined our family as a result of conversation you had with Bob and Jen and Igor and whoever else was at the table that particular evening, talking about what they do here. Next thing I know, Sid's knocking on my door in the middle of the night saying, "Hey, I want to train with you." And I said, "Get away from here, come back tomorrow." So he came back, and he hasn't left. So everybody contributes to everybody's well-being in our dojo family, and that's just another example of this, and to our great wealth and continued benefit. So I would like to present 7Q to Sid. Congratulations. Job well done. Thank you.
Good job, bravo.
That's it.
Congratulations, Sid.
And to Doug. We'll get this in the mail soon. I want to have the judges, anybody else who's here that wants to sign your certificate as well as Sid's. But this is a little bit of a surprise. You were testing for your second rank in brown belt.
Yes, sir.
You're beyond that as far as I'm concerned. You'll be testing for your Shodan in our style in our dojo next year, I'm sure.
Okay.
But this is being graded to first Q brown belt. So that's why you have the little black stripe in the center here, just denotes that. And again, I'd like to congratulate you, as I have. We have private sessions every week, obviously, and you've done a great job of trying to get beyond whatever limitations there may have been from your previous training. And not to suggest that what you did was wrong, or inadequate in any way, it's giving you a great foundation. But sometimes we stay tied to that because that's what we're comfortable with. We all have that challenge. And as someone who's been through that battle and continues to be, I can appreciate very well just how much work you have to do to be able to break out of that cast, out of that, whatever it is you feel you need to get away from, and maintain what it is that you feel you need to progress with and utilize from your previous training. Not an easy task, not an easy task. So I congratulate you again on that, and on the support that you've given yourself from this remote transfer of information that goes both ways. Obviously, none of us are doing that. You're the only one. So really kudos to you on that as well. So congratulations to you, sir.
Yay.
And certainly thank you for keeping this avenue open to me, because I don't know anybody else that's ever moved 1,000 miles and been able to continue to work, with their team. So thanks everybody for showing up. Thanks everybody for accepting me in the class. I'm sure some days it's a little bit of a pain, Sensei making you face me instead of the mirrors. But all I can tell you is, the mirrors, you're not as good looking as you think. No, you are. I'm talking to Mac. He's good looking.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you, sir.
Take
Love you,
care.
Doug.
Very good. Take care, Doug. Have a good one.
Thank you. I miss you all so much.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Bob.
Congratulations, Doug.
Okay.
Awesome job.
Well, thank you, Bob. Thank you. Wish you and Jen could be here, but you're here. You're here with us.
Enjoy.
Yeah, of course. Well,
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.